Hey guys, what's up? I'm Radizio and today I will show you how to build this super simple AFK villager powered crop farm. With this design, the farm can produce potatoes, carrots, wheat and even beetroot. There will also be a part 2 of this video where I show you guys how you can turn this into a bone meal farm, and I will link that video at the end of this one. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This is what you'll need to build one layer of this farm, and of course you can stack multiple layers of this farm to improve the rates. As always, there will be a list of materials in the video description below, and I do want to point out that you will need 11 stacks of dirt, 5 stacks of building blocks, and another 13 stacks of blocks to cover up the villagers so that they don't get struck by lightning. It can be glass or any kind of block of your choice. So then you want to go ahead and start with an area that looks like this, and I will plot the dimensions on screen for you right now. And this is a lot of dirt you're going to need, so I suggest you build it in a generally flat grassy area, otherwise you're going to have to haul a lot of dirt. Alright, with that being said, let's crack on with the build. Alright, so in the middle here we're going to start off with a basic collection system. I'm just going to go ahead with 4 chests, but of course you can hook up your own collection system. There we go. We are now going to place down 4 hoppers facing into these chests, just like that. And then we're going to grab ourselves some building blocks to place one in the middle here, just like that. And now we're going to go ahead and place down 4 of our rails on top of the hoppers. And of course you want to hold down shift, which I almost forgot there. Alright, that looks good to me. Now we're going to make ourselves some pillars here so that our minecarts aren't going to fly out of there, just like that. That is pretty straightforward. And one more pillar to go, just like that. Alright, so go ahead and place down your minecarts on all of the 4 rails. And now you're going to go ahead and want to punch out all of these rails, because we're going to want to have to place another trapdoor in the same block as where we put the minecart hoppers. So as I said, here you go. This is the block the minecart hopper is in, and you want to make sure that the trapdoor is in the same block space as the hopper, right? So not over here, but over here, just like that. And of course, the same goes for the other 4 sides. All right. Now again, you want to place down another 4 minecart hoppers, and we're just going to do that real quick. There we go, just like that. Pretty simple. And now you want to knock out the trapdoors, and the minecart hoppers should fall on top of each other, and that way whatever items that fall into here will also be funneled into that one, and then on its turn into the chest, as you can see. So let's go ahead and quickly punch out the rest over here, just like that. All right, that looks good to me. Now of course you want to block off this kind of thing with some trapdoors in the top here, just so that our villagers won't be able to push out these minecarts, because that would be pretty disastrous. All right, so there we go. That is what the trapdoors are for. All right, I think what we might want to do now is to place down our little dirt patches, which is of course going to be our farmland. So there we go. We're just going to follow the shape we have underneath here. And as I said before, I will put the exact dimensions in the beginning of the video. So if you are looking for those dimensions, in the beginning of the video is where you want to be. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up this process with some editing, and I will see you guys back when I filled in all of these dirt platforms. And there we go, we are finishing up this last platform over here. And as I said before, you definitely want to build this on some grassy area lands, so that you can just simply dig out the blocks that you need instead of hauling all of this dirt and placing all of it down. Alright, so I suggest we then go ahead and start placing in our water. These blue blocks is of course where we want to place down our water. So in the middle of all of these platforms, we're going to go ahead and place down a water bucket. In the beginning I said you only needed 2 water buckets, but of course with those 2 water buckets you can make an infinite source. So there we go, that is one more we have to fill in, just like, oh no, wait, like that. Alright, so now we have to fill in these other sides. And the way you want to do that is simply by placing down a stair facing like inward or outward, depending on how you want to see it. So you want to have this little area kind of thing like this, and you want to block off these sides with some structural blocks so that the water won't be able to ooze out of there. So that way we can go ahead and waterlog this stair, and that is then going to take care of hydrating these pieces of land. Now, let me just show you on this side as well that you want to place down 2 stairs like that. And as I said before, you want to then block off these sides, so that the water doesn't ooze out like that. And of course, you want to continue that same thing over on all of the other sides. So I'll see you guys back when that is done. Now, with all those stairs in place, we still have to place 4 more down, and that is in the corners over here. So go ahead and knock out these corner blocks. And then you want to replace these blocks over here with some simple stairs or slabs, but I'm just going to go ahead with stairs because I just want to follow up on the other stairs. So there we go. With those in place, we can then go ahead and waterlog these stairs just like we did before. That's the last one. And go ahead and replace this with your normal structural blocks just like that. Alright, so now we want to go ahead and place down your walls here to close off the cell compartments, which is of course where our villagers are going to go ahead and start farming the crops. So you want to build your walls all around these little cells, and you want to build them 2 blocks high. So that is 2 blocks high, and you want to do that all around. And you also want to do the same thing in between here, because of course we don't want to have the villagers wandering off into the other cells. We want to have 1 villager per cell, and we want to have him caged in here without him having to get out. So of course, again, I will speed that up for you guys so that you don't have to watch me placing all those blocks. Also, if you're enjoying the video, may I ask that you scroll down real quick and give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And you might as well subscribe if you want to see more of these weekly tutorials. Alright, carrying on with the build. And there you go. Now, with all those walls in place, it is now time for you to start thinking about which crops you want to cultivate. Now, I will give you a bit more time. In the meantime, we're just going to go ahead and start hoeing all our pieces of land here so that it can start hydrating. And then afterwards, we'll then go ahead and start placing our crops. So I'll tell you again, you can choose between potatoes, carrots, and wheat and beetroot. But of course, if you are going to follow up on the second video where I show you how to build this farm, but then turn it into a bone meal farm, I suggest you then start with cultivating your potatoes, because potatoes are going to give you the highest turnout rates when you turn them into bone meal after burning them in the furnace till you get baked potatoes. Now, assuming you've placed in all of the waterlogged stairs in all of the right places, all of your farmland should be hydrated and looking like this. Now, I said that you should think about the crops that you want to be planting here, but I'm just gonna go ahead and plant my beetroot seeds, my normal seeds, my potatoes, and carrots. Just to show you guys that it doesn't matter what kind of crop you want to grow on here. So let's go ahead and grab our carrots as well. And then we want to place those in here in their separate compartments. Alright, I've placed in all of the crops in the 4 compartments. I suggest you just keep it with 1 crop per compartment and that you don't start mixing them, because that is going to be a whole jumble and mess with those villagers. So then you want to go ahead and place yourself down a composter on top of the water block, and you can use the hitbox of the crop next to it to place it down. And on top of there, you then want to place down your glowstone or sea lantern. However, I think glowstone is much more easy to get, so that's why I went with the cheaper glowstone option instead of the sea lanterns. But I guess you could also use torches or something, I guess, but hey, I'm just gonna go ahead with glowstone because it turns out to look quite nice in this farm. So there you go. I think that is the 4 composters in place. Now then, of course, you then want to bring in your villagers with your villager breeder or whatnot, but I'm gonna go ahead and place them in with a basic spawn egg because of course I'm in creative. But if you want to see a villager breeder over on my channel, please let me know in the comments or give this video a thumbs up, and that way I will know that you want to see that, and then I will definitely make another video on how to make a villager breeder. And now with those villagers in place, it is now time for you to go ahead and give them some shelter with some blocks on top of here, because if a lightning bolt strikes one of these villagers, they will turn into a witch, and that would be disastrous for our farm, of course. Now, doesn't that just look sexy with all of that glass in there?
Oh yeah.
Alright, we're almost done here, but as you can see, we still need to have one more villager in this slot over here, so that these villagers, these farmers, are going to throw their crops towards the villager, but of course, the hopper minecarts are going to be quicker to fetch those items and intercept them and to put them into the chests. You then want to grab some minecarts or a boat to grab your villager and to bring him in here, but I'm just going to go ahead and simply place him in here. And it is normal that this guy doesn't have a profession, but these guys are then going to collect all of their crops and try to throw them in there. Now also for this villager, you're going to want to place down a block to shield him from the elements. Now, as I said before in the beginning of the video, you can stack this farm on top of each other to improve the rates even more. So what you want to do then is to place another 4 hoppers in these 4 blocks here, facing downwards into the trapdoors. And those hoppers should then funnel their items into the minecart hoppers. And for the rest, you basically just want to copy everything exactly the same. And guys, I have another nano wheat farm design that is much quicker and only requires like 9 blocks. So if you would like to watch that, click right here. And if you want to watch another amazing video, click right here. And if you don't want to miss any of my future amazing videos and tutorials, go ahead and subscribe by clicking this circle right here.